Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. And today we are discussing what might be the essential Calatrava, the most direct descendant of the 1932 reference 96. That was the first Calatrava unofficially. This is a Calatrava officially, and it is the 5196J-001. 37 millimeters in traditional yellow gold. This Tiffany retailed example was sold in 2018 and features a Tiffany Co. co-signed dial. The timepiece measures a svelte 7.9 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, you can see the watch is 45.5 millimeters with a broad and contemporary 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see how well it fits. It's not petite. At 37 millimeters with a 21 millimeter lug spacing, it looks like a modern dress watch, but being sub 40, it's a good match for a smaller wrist like mine. And even if your wrist is as small as about 13.5 centimeters circumference, maybe even 13, you're going to wear this one well. You can see in profile it slides easily underneath a dress cuff and down the barrel. Take note, there's plenty of clearance for the lugs on each side of my wrist. The strap can best be described as a high-gloss, large rectangular scale alligator leather, brown-red fusion with a monotone stitch and a sheer cut side. There is a lot of leather here, and you can see that in the sheer of the profile. So you've got that, shall we call it maybe a rusty red? It's brown and red in equal measure in a Patek Philippe factory strap in brand new condition. You can see calfskin on the bottom, pull tab spring bars to allow you to remove the strap from the case without tools, and then a simple no-nonsense polished Patek Philippe spade style pin buckle. I should mention this watch has not been refinished. It's been left as is. The case band is beautiful and minimalist, and this has been the case, pun intended, since the original 1932 reference 96. That was the first Patek Philippe watch to have a reference number. It was also the first Patek to be designed under Stern family ownership. So the 96, which was built for almost 40 years and was downright petite, gives way to the 5196 in the modern era. Now this watch is bigger, broader, but preserves all the essential elements of that first Calatrava. Calatrava not being a term generally applied to these Patek manual wind dress watches until the 1980s. Now this is a manual wind watch and very traditional. You have the minimalist crown, no crown guard, blended lugs, polished on the top, satin on the side, a very flat bezel. It's really almost a flat bezel, as there's almost no conical slope to it, as a polished vertical outer face, and that flat plane giving way to a flat sapphire. The dial includes small seconds, dart-style indices, faceted in yellow gold. We have faceted Dauphine hands, and then we have a leaf-style hand for the small seconds. There is a gold dimple-style minutes track outboard and an opaline or silver satin dial base. This, again, is very traditional. This is all original to the reference 96, having the 3 hands but the small seconds display with the stick indices. Now, the watch is very spare. You can see when I turn it over, even though it does have a beautifully hand-decorated movement, we have a solid snap-on case back, as you would have seen on the 96. Inside, Patek Philippe caliber 215 Petite Seconde. It is a manual wind manufacture movement with a 44-hour power reserve. It beats away at 8 beats per second, pivots on 18 jewels. It is free sprung for durability, adjusted in 6 positions, equipped with an anti-magnetic silicone hairspring, and it bears the Patek Philippe seal. So when you have that 6-position adjustment, the Gyromax free-sprung architecture, and the silicone hairspring with the Patek Philippe seal, that means the watch is guaranteed to run no worse than -3 + 2 seconds per 24 hours from the factory. All of it is beautifully hand-decorated and hand-adjusted, and the watch is water-resistant to 30 meters. Now, the Tiffany signature on the dial. Watches retailed by Tiffany Co. can be signed Tiffany Co. on the dial. Not all of them are, and this is significant because previous Tiffany-signed Rolex watches were not considered canonical or factory. Patek Philippe blesses this signature, as Patek itself performs the signature on the dial on behalf of Tiffany. So these are highly sought watches, and it carries the imprimatur of Patek Philippe itself. It is not an aftermarket customization done by Tiffany, and this celebrates a relationship between Patek and Tiffany dating back to the middle of the 19th century. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of the most traditional Calatrava.